Okay, guys. Let me do mojo videos for you guys. Let's do top 20 mysterious places on Earth. Mysteries, sorry.
For all our advanced technology and internet sleuthing, there are corners of this Earth that refuse to give up their secrets. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 mysterious places on Earth. For this list, we're looking at places around the world that, for various reasons, have captured our collective imagination due to their association with the unknown, unexplained, or seemingly otherworldly. Number 20, the Alaska Triangle, also known as Alaska's Bermuda Triangle. Spanning the vast southeastern reaches of the Alaskan wilderness up to its mountain ranges, an unusual number of hikers, boats, and planes vanish without a trace here. In fact, the state of Alaska has not only twice the American national average of people reported missing, but also the lowest statistics for people found. Is it the unforgiving weather, wild animals, immense uncharted terrain, or something more sinister?
They do have a theory that when the vortex opens, theoretically, it releases this huge amount of electromagnetic energy. When it closes, you have kind of a dramatic reduction.
The indigenous Tlingit people tell stories of a shape-shifting being called Hushtaka, meaning land otter man, who mimics the screams of children to lure unwary travelers to their deaths. Others blame Bigfoot or propose that the area is a vile vortex like the Bermuda Triangle linked to electromagnetic aberrations. Number 19, the Stony Tunguska River, also known as Pakaminaya Tunguska River. In 1908, an explosion 1,000 times greater than the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima tore through the air over Siberia. Witnesses reported a column of bluish light as the sky seemed to split in half and catch fire. The blast sent a shockwave that knocked people off their feet and flattened 770 square miles of forest, toppling an estimated 80 million trees. When the first expedition arrived to investigate, native guides would not enter the impact zone, fearing people they called the Valley Men. Strangely, the scorched trees in the center of the blast zone remained upright. Scientific consensus attributes the blast to the explosion of a meteorite in midair, leading some to blame natural gas and others to blame a collision with an alien spacecraft.
Vertrete auch die Auffassung, dass dort eine Gasexplosion gewesen sein muss, aber nicht nur.
Number 18, the Temple of Jupiter. Located in modern-day Lebanon, this ancient temple of Roman design is now a little more than normal. While the architecture is largely in keeping with the style of the time, and therefore not especially mysterious, the temple's foundation is another story. Even after many years of study, experts are at a loss to explain how, using the technology of the time, builders were able to displace and position foundation stones weighing approximately 1,000 tons apiece. For context, these are among the largest and heaviest stones used in construction of any kind throughout human history, including today. Theories involve multiple cranes being used in conjunction or rolling the stones using piles of earth, but it's all speculation at this point. Number 17, the Devil's Sea, also known as the Dragon's Triangle and the Pacific Bermuda Triangle. This is a region of the Pacific Ocean that's south of Japan in which several ships have disappeared. Notably, the Japanese research vessel Kayomaru No. 5 in the early 1950s.
In fact, Japan has declared this a disaster area.
Sailors have reported problems with electronic instruments and sightings of unmanned ghost ships. American author and linguist Charles Berlitz, who also popularized the idea of the Bermuda Triangle, made the area around Miyake Island famous with his book, The Dragon's Triangle, in 1989. Although authorities claim that Cayo Maru was destroyed by natural forces while the crew was investigating the eruption of an underwater volcano, Berlitz attributed the incident to unknown supernatural forces, and even blamed the Dragon's Triangle for the disappearance of aviation pioneer Amelia Earhart. Number 16, the Door to Hell, also known as the Darvaza gas crater. This natural gas field is more formally known as the Darvaza gas crater, but that doesn't
See?
really do it justice.
That's what hell looks
226
like,
feet wide
guys.
and 98 feet deep at its lowest point, this
Do I believe in
hellish-looking
hell?
pit in
Yes.
the Ahal province of Turkmenistan is just about the last thing you'd expect to stumble across as you traverse the
Yes,
Kalahari
I do.
Desert. It's thought to have been burning
I believe
continuously
both.
since 1971, when it was intentionally set ablaze for fear that natural gas might affect local towns. Experts expected the gas to burn off in a matter of weeks, but here we are, nearly half a century later, and it continues to glow as bright as the fires.
Imagine how hot it is.
Wind tunnel or downdraft blowing straight down over my location.
Now a tourist attraction, it's especially impressive when seen at night. Number 15, Eternal Flame Falls, New York, USA. Can't get enough fire? Located in the United States and prefer something a little closer to home? The Eternal Flame Falls in New York State are sure to satisfy. Like something straight out of a fantasy film or video game, this waterfall in Chestnut Ridge Park contains a small grotto where natural gas
I went
escapes,
to
causing a
New
small
York
perpetual
City.
urban
How come
flame.
I didn't
It
see
does
that?
occasionally go out and needs a little help to get it going again, but it generally persists unaided year-round. The Door to Hell might be more impressive due to its size, but
Door
there's
to
something
Hell.
about the combination of water and fire in such close proximity that adds to the overall sense of mystery and wonder surrounding the Eternal Flame Falls. Number
Waterfalls,
14,
it helps
the Rishat
me
structure, also known as
relax
the
and
Eye
puts
of the
me.
Sahara or the Eye of Africa. This unique structure spanning 25 miles across has generated much speculation as to its origins. At one point in time, this series of concentric ridged circles in west-central Mauritania was thought to have been evidence of a meteor impact. Now, the geological site is believed to be the result of erosion. However, the area around the Rishat structure has also revealed a treasure trove of archaeological finds in the form of Acheulean artifacts, which date back to the lower Paleolithic period 300,000 years ago. This has sparked much speculation as to what the Eye of Africa used to look like and what it meant to our ancient ancestors. Number 13, Island of the Dolls, also known as
I
Isla de
heard
las
of that.
Muñecas. As you navigate this creepy island just south of Mexico City, thousands of small, unblinking eyes watch your passage.
In Mexican culture, there are a lot of legends about dolls. People believe that they can trap evil spirits and stop them from harming anyone.
The island is actually man-made, dating all the way back to the floating gardens of Aztec times. As legend has it, owner Julian Santana Barrera found a little drowned girl in the canal and
I
a doll
don't
floating
speak
close by,
Spanish,
which he
sorry.
hung in a tree as a sign of respect. But shortly
I
following
wish I
this act,
can.
he started to hear whispers, footsteps, and screams following him in the dark. Santana Barrera spent the next half-century hanging dolls to pacify the girl's spirit. When he died in 2001, his body was eerily found in the same spot he had found the drowned girl. Number 12, Teotihuacan. This ancient Mesoamerican city is the site of some of the best preserved and most important pyramids on the continent. But for all the research that's been done, much remains a mystery about Teotihuacan.
90% that remains to be dug up. How much more is there at the site?
The Aztecs discovered the city sometime in the 1400s, and even then, it appeared as if it had been abandoned hundreds of years earlier. We do not know who built it, but it seems as if its construction and expansion spanned from 400 BC to 300 AD. The city was seemingly a center of trade and the site of ritual sacrifices, but the
Because
culture,
Peru
politics,
does have
language,
one
and specific
too.
religion all remain question marks. Perhaps the greatest
Have
mystery
one
of
of
all,
those.
however, is what led to the fall of this once powerful ancient metropolis. Number 11, the Nazca Lines. Some 2,000 years
They
ago,
look like a monkey.
hundreds of complex geoglyphs were carved into the desert sands of southern Peru. Composed of thousands of lines, the geometric figures and animal and plant designs cover arid plateau south of Lima that's more than 50 miles in size. As fascinating as they may be, many questions remain. How were such complex designs created without aerial technology? Why did these people create shapes in the soil that are only visible from the air or hilltops?
Older cultures bring their knowledges to new cultures. And in this case, we have knowledge that has no precedent. Okay, so just the Nazcas had it.
While scholars claim the lines were constructed using simple surveying equipment, others speculate the use of hot air balloons, or that the lines were once alien airfields. Various other uses have been proposed, from religious symbolism to astronomical calendars to irrigation, but their ultimate purpose remains unknown. Number 10. North Sentinel Island. An isolated indigenous tribe has lived on this island in the Bay of Bengal for an estimated 60,000
See, that's
years.
how you
Fringed by
pronounce
perilous
saying that to
reefs,
them.
the island is difficult to reach, and boats that do land are met with a hail of arrows. As a result, little is known about the Sentinelese. Their language is unclassified, and population estimates range from 50 to 400. During one failed expedition, as tensions rose between locals and anthropologists cornered on the reefs, some of the indigenous women made off with warriors and proceeded to have sex on the beach, which is certainly one way to cool off. What are the beliefs and customs of the Sentinelese?
They are the most isolated tribe on Earth, so they're the most vulnerable in terms of a lack of immunity to common diseases like flu and measles that will decimate a tribe.
What do they think of our metal ships and flying machines? Aside from rocks and arrows to the head, the world at large may never make contact, and that might not be a bad thing. Number 9. Fairy Circles, Namibia. Every desert has its secrets,
Don't
but
listen to
few
what
have
she
drawn
says.
more
It's not
attention
true.
or stumped the
They don't
scientific
do that,
community
their
quite
culture.
like that of the Namib Desert in southern Africa. Leopards have spots, but grasslands? Not typically. As long as anyone can remember, the desert has been home to sparse fields of grass dotted with notably barren patches dubbed fairy circles due to their roughly circular shape.
Says,
They look entirely unnatural, and yet no human hand
say,
plays a role in their creation.
well,
Locals
hopefully
have all
done.
manner of supernatural
Say,
explanations from gods to dragons, while the scientific community
40,
has
15,
suggested
60
termite
minutes, I'm
behavior
gonna
and
have to
the
stop because
competition between
it's
plants
long.
and
I'm
water.
not sit
In
here.
the absence of a definitive answer, the polka dot landscape continues to invite speculation. Number 8. The Michigan Triangle. Often compared to the Bermuda Triangle, which we will get to later, this region
Yeah,
in Lake
who
Michigan
cares of
is the site
Michigan?
of numerous maritime and aviation disasters. Particularly notorious is the
You know
Strait
where
Lake
the
of Lake
Michigan
Michigan and
River
Green
is?
Bay,
It's
known
beside
as Port
Chicago.
Baker or Death's Door, which is littered with shipwrecks thanks to hidden shoals and unpredictable winds.
There was no trace of any part of the shipwreck. Usually shipwrecks will leave some timbers or debris left behind. Nothing.
There have also been reports, however, of UFOs, sea monsters, underwater Stonehenge-like alignments, and theories that there are portals through time and space in the triangle.
You look at this and you start sketching it. Once you outline the lines, looks like Mastodon.
But the most famous incident was the crash of Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 2501 in 1950, which killed all 58 passengers and crew, and was the worst airline accident to happen in the United States to that point. Only light debris and human body fragments were recovered, although mass burial sites were recently discovered in local cemeteries. Regular searches for the wreckage continue. Number 7. The Mapimi Silent Zone. Technological advances have allowed humanity to accomplish some pretty incredible things. We're still able to receive information from Voyager 1 across a distance of 13.8 billion miles. So, how is it that we can't manage to consistently maintain radio signals while crossing through this stretch of desert in Mexico? Back in the 1930s, a pilot reportedly had his equipment go haywire while flying over the area. Then, in the 1970s, the U.S. Air Force conducted a recovery mission involving a test rocket and radioactive materials. Ever since, there are claims that radio and phone signals will randomly drop in the area, though not consistently.
Oh, that's why.
If you go with a radio, it stops. If you go with a compass, the needle just keeps spinning.
People also allege to have spotted UFOs in the Silent Zone, as well as mutated plants and animals. Number 6. The San Luis Valley. Located in south-central Colorado and stretching into New Mexico, the San Luis Valley is like a lightning rod for paranormal activity and strange phenomena. UFOs, flying humanoid-type
I need to
creatures,
go there.
Bigfoot sightings, San Luis has reportedly played host to them all. It was also the site of a slew of strange animal mutilations in the 1970s that have never been solved, and which many have attributed to alien activity in the area.
They were moving remarkably fast towards the river. The one in the front stopped, and it waited for the one behind to catch up, and when that one caught up, the two of them took off, and there was a streak of light across the sky.
Why? Because in the case of one horse, the cuts were extremely precise, there was a chemical smell in the air, and the decomposition was completely unnatural. Its footprints ended some 100 yards away from the body, and its wounds were seemingly cauterized. And this is just one of the many anomalies the area is known for.
I was thinking of all sorts of logical explanations for how Noah's horse died. Got there, those logical explanations didn't stick anymore.
Huh?
Number 5. The Bermuda Triangle. This entry requires no introduction. It's among the most infamous stretches of sea in the world. Dating back all the way to the late 15th century, this roughly triangular patch of
Okay,
ocean,
that's
defined
when
by
the
Florida,
pirates
Bermuda, and
came.
Puerto Rico, has been the site of numerous
1500s.
odd and unexplained events.
There seem to be spots around Bermuda where you get 2, 3, or 4 shipwrecks one on top of the other.
It was here in 1492 that Christopher Columbus and his crew reported seeing a mysterious light. Throughout the 1800s, various ships were lost, and many of them never recovered. In the 1900s, the ships were soon
guess
joined
what?
by
I don't
aircraft
sell
as they
Bay
began to
Converse.
take to the skies over these
Christopher
troubled
Converse, sorry. I don't. Hey, guess what? It's gonna be like that tomorrow. I don't sell weighted, guys.
Theorists have suggested everything from the Gulf Stream or compass anomalies to UFOs, but the mystery persists. Number 4, the Crooked Forest. In West Pomerania, Poland, just outside of Nowy Nowo, lies a grove of pine trees unlike any other. They date back to approximately 1930 and are notable for the uniformly odd shape of their trunks. They
Okay,
often have a
guys.
sharp bend to them. While
Alright, I might stop right here. I'm sorry. I'm not sit here and watch. So I will see you in my third one. So I see you then.